Okay, to start the week 7 assignment, first let's, on the course homepage, launch the Excel keyboard shortcut. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to create a new sheet. So this is Shift F11 on here. And go to Assessments, Assignments, and go down to week 7. And the first part we do on our own. And we're going to be making a family budget for someone. So let's, in Excel, I'm going to save this document, Control S, as week 7 family budget. And I'm going to save it in downloads. There we go. And I'm going to name the first sheet budget, F6, menu R. And they first ask us to say that the person, we're going to be charting it yearly. And I'm going to have one row for every year. And the person starts at 22, and we're charting it down to, they're retiring at 65th year. So at 65, they're retired. 64 is the last year that they're working. And plan it at all the way to 100 years old, all their retirement. So I'm going to have the year, and the year is 2024, and then age. And the person is 22 years old. And I'm going to go advance this one, so equal whatever that is, plus 1. I'm going to autofill this across, Control R. And then I'm going to autofill it down, Shift, and I'm just going to do page down, because I'm going to go quite a ways down. This is probably do it, Control D. Oh, not quite. So go end down and select both of them. Just going to do 2 more lines, Control D, to 100. All right. And then they have income as an accountant, and I looked that up. It's first starting accountant in Alberta, 70,543. 70543. And I'm going to worry about number formatting later. Right now I'm just going to get my numbers down so I know which ones I want to convert, because eventually I'm going to have this in a comma between thousands with 0 decimal places. But it's going to be messy before I eventually get around to seeing all the numbers. Some of them are going to be percentages, some are just age numbers, just regular numbers, same with years. So anyways, and so this is income. And then we're going to have that income increase with 2.5%. Now there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be increasing by 2.5%. That's my estimated inflation. So we're going to use it so frequently. Also later going to use borrowing. And we're going to say that when we borrow is for 5.34%. We're going to do that for a house and a car. We're also going to have investments for RRSPs and RESPs. We're going to set that as 7%. So with all these things, I want it to be numbers that I don't have to type out all the time. I'm going to have it as a named range. And for inflation and borrowing, it's going to be much more convenient not to have it as the raw 2.5%, but rather have it 1 plus 2.5%, because that's what's used in the formula. Whereas the borrowing, we need to keep it at the regular percentage, because the PMT formula, the payment formula that we're going to be using for housing and stuff, they require it to be in the raw percentage format, the rate format. So we're going to keep that the way it is. So I'm going to make another sheet, the Shift F11, and I'm going to name the sheet menu, F6 to get to the tab, then menu, then rename. I'm going to call it constants, even though inflation is not constant, as you well know with our recent economy. It's constant for this assignment, and then enter. And so we have inflation, we have investing, and we have borrowing. And inflation is 1.025. That's 1 plus 2.5%. Investing is 1.07. And borrowing is 5.34% right now. And we'll leave it at that. And then to make these a named range, I'm going to Shift N down, cross, and I'm going to go Alt, and it's under formula, so it's M, and it's created from selection. It's kind of in the middle, about 60% across. C for create from selection. They are auto-detecting that they say, we see that the names, the inflation, investing, borrowing names are on the left column, and they're right. They've detected it properly. We could change that if they didn't detect it properly, but they are right, so I'm just going to hit enter. There. Now they can be used in formulas. Now I want to move this sheet. I don't want it a second. I want a second, not first. So I'm going to go F6, menu, M for move, and I'm going to arrow down. I'm going to move it to the end and then enter. Good. Now control page up to budget. And so I'm going to increase this income at 2.5%. So equal whatever it was last year times, I'm going to start to type out the word inflation, and you'll see that it comes right to the front of the top of the list. They're guessing what it probably is, and they guessed right. And so to accept that guess, hit the tab key and then enter. And I'm going to autofill that down, shift, I'm going to go page down. This, go up a little bit because this last year that this person works is their 64th year. And then control D for down, autofill down. All right, control home to get back. So that's income. Then control tab. The next thing we want is the RSP. So the limit is 18%, and this year the max percent, that's a percent limit. But even if you make more, that when you calculate 18%, if it's greater than $31,560, too bad. You can't do your full 18%. It maxes out at $31,560. So I'm going to make a column called limit, and then in brackets add 18%, because 18% hasn't changed for years. It used to be 20 for a while, but not anymore. It's always 18. So that's the 31,560. And I'm going to say, because it does increase over time, and it roughly increases for inflation. So I'm going to make an assumption for this assignment that it's always going to increase with inflation. So I'm just going to autofill this formula that I've made here. Shift and then space and then Control R. And then I'm going to autofill this down. Oops, I'm going to only till we're only going to contribute up to when we're working. So Control D. Control Home to get back. Okay. And then I'm going to write a column called contribution percent, because I may not choose to use my whole 18%. I may go 0% some years. I get to choose that later. So I'm going to choose right now 18%. And I'm going to, just for ease, I'm going to make the other years be the same amount, 18%. I'm going to autofill that down. Control D. But I may change that, and I may copy and paste these as values and change certain years just to be 0. But for right now, it's a good starting point. I'm just going to assume 18%. And so therefore, what is my contribution? And I'm going to make these three autofill across, or not autofill, expand to be the column widths. So that's Alt HOI. And so my contribution formula is going to say equal. I'm going to take what my income is. Oh, wait a minute, I got to start with an if statement. Equal if my income multiplied by the 18%, if that is bigger than the 31,560, then I can only contribute 31,560. Otherwise, if it's smaller, which by the way mine is this year, then I actually can take what my income is and multiply it by the 18%. Yeah, so this year it's only over $12,000. And so that also, I'm going to autofill down in just a sec. I'm just going to make one more column, the taxable. So how much taxable income do I have? It's equal whatever my income is minus my RSP contribution. Now I'm going to take both of these, hold on shift and get both of them, page down, and I'm going to go Control D. Now, one more thing that I should do is the taxable one, that I will be receiving an income, not from being an accountant, but from RSP withdrawals at some point after I retire. So the taxable one, I'm going to have continue down. So I'm going to go down to the last one of taxable, shift, and I'm going to go page down, and just going to arrow down until I get to 100, and Control D. I know the zeros now. It'll come later. And I always want to see this first row at the top. So I'm going to, actually I'll deal with that in just a minute, because there's one more thing I want to do, is I want to make another row to signify that these are all RSP things. So to make another row, it's Shift space and then Control plus. And then on these three cells, the limit, the contribution, the contribution percent, and the contribution, I'm going to go Alt H, and then to merge and center is M, and then C for center. I'm going to type RSP in there. And also, I have two partners. There's partner one, and partner two is a copy, the same thing, same age, same job, same salary, but and we're going to have the same contributions, just to make it simple. So I want to keep the two separate, or signify who I'm talking about. So I'm going to make yet another row. So Shift space Control plus, and I'm going to call this one person parent one, because they're parents. And I'm going to autofill this across. I'm going to autofill it, merge and center this across later, because we're going to be making tax, federal tax and provincial tax and net income. We've got more columns to make before I make this. But this is all I want to do for the first video.